Attracting quality women isn't about looks, money, or playing mind games. It's about becoming a high-value man who naturally draws the right kind of partner. Women are instinctively drawn to confidence, ambition, and authenticity, not empty bravado or superficial charm. If you want to build meaningful connections with the kind of women who align with your values and lifestyle, the key lies in personal growth, emotional intelligence, and self-respect. In this guide, we'll explore the essential traits and mindset shifts that make you truly magnetic to the right women. Understanding female psychology. What most men get wrong. 1. Understanding female psychology. What most men get wrong. Let me tell you something most men don't realize. Women aren't attracted to what you have nearly as much as they are to who you are, and yet men keep making the same mistake. They think if they just make more money, get in better shape, or learn the right lines to say, everything will magically fall into place. But it never does it, because attraction doesn't work that way. Sure, success in looks might catch her eye, but won't hold her interest, not for long. A high-quality woman, one who is emotionally mature, intelligent and confident, sees right through the ACT. She's wired to look deeper. She's drawn to qualities that go beyond surface level, achievements, strength, stability, and leadership. Not dominance, not arrogance, but a man who is grounded, a man who doesn't need outside validation to feel worthy, a man who knows who he is and doesn't apologize for it. And here's the hard truth. If you're needy, if you're constantly trying to prove your worth to her, if you're chasing her attention, like your happiness depends on it, she will sense it instantly, and the moment she does, her attraction for you disappears. Not because she's cruel, not because she's shallow, but because deep down women want a man they can trust to be steady, trust to be emotionally secure, trust to be someone who doesn't need her approval to feel like a man. Ever wondered why the so-called bad boys seem to get all the attention? It's not because they're reckless or rebellious, it's because they exude certainty. They don't seek validation, they don't hesitate, they don't overthink their every move. And that confidence, whether real or not, is intoxicating. But here's where they get it wrong. Their confidence is shallow. It's built on ego, not on something real. And that's why those relationships always burn out. There's no substance behind the spark. So if you want to be different, if you want to attract a high-value woman and actually keep her interested, don't fake confidence. Build it on something real. Combine that certainty with depth, purpose and self-mastery. Be the man who stands firm in his values, who doesn't fold under pressure, who has a mission. Beyond just getting a woman's attention. Because when you do that, you won't have to chase. She'll feel it, and she'll want to be part of your world. 2. Virtue over vanity. The virtue over vanity. The superpower. Most men ignore. Superpower. Most men ignore. All right, let's build on this, because if you understand what truly attracts a high-value woman, you'll see why so many men miss the mark. Modern culture shouts at us from every direction. Get the six-pack, buy the luxury watch, take those exotic vacations. And yeah, those things might grab someone's attention for a moment, but they're not what hold it. They're not what makes someone stay a high-value woman. The kind of woman who knows her worth and won't settle for less isn't looking at your highlight reel, she's looking at your character. And here's the virtue is your superpower, not in the nice guy way that has you bending over backward to please everyone, sacrificing your own needs just to keep the peace. No, real virtue is about living by principles. It's about walking through life with wisdom, courage, justice and self-mastery. Think about it. Wisdom isn't about being a know-it-all. It's about understanding yourself. It's knowing your strengths and your weaknesses and being honest about them. Courage isn't about being fearless. It's about feeling fear and choosing to act with integrity anyway. Justice isn't about pointing fingers and playing judge. It's about treating others with fairness and respect no matter what. And self-mastery. Well, that's the foundation of it all. It's controlling your impulses, your emotions, your desires, instead of letting them control you. Imagine this: you're on a date. Instead of boasting about your income, your car, or your latest trip, you share a story about a time you faced a tough decision and you chose the right path, even when it was the hardest one to take. That's the kind of story that makes a woman's eyes light up, not because of the struggle, but because of the strength it took to do what was right. A man who lives like this, who makes choices based on his values, who stands strong even when it's tough, commands respect. And a man who commands respect commands attraction. Women don't want perfection. They want realness. They want a man who owns his flaws but doesn't wallow in them, who is committed to growing, to being better today than he was yesterday. That kind of authenticity, that commitment to growth, that's what makes you stand out in a world obsessed with appearances. So forget the distractions, forget what the world says. You need to be focused on building your character, because when you do, you won't need to chase the right women. The ones who see your worth will be drawn to you, and they'll stay. Not because of what you have, but because of who you are. What do you think? Want to refine anything? Add a story, or maybe a bit of humor. Let's make this as powerful as authenticity wins every time. Stop pretending. Possible number 3, authenticity wins every time. Stop pretending. Let's get one thing straight. Women know when you're faking it. They can feel it. And the moment they sense that you're putting on an act, their attraction disappears. Not gradually, instantly. Most men don't realize this, so they keep playing a losing game. They flash their wealth, brag about their status, and try to say all the right things. They act confident when they're not. They put on a mask thinking it'll impress her, but deep down, they're exhausted, and women, they see right through it. Remember, authenticity is magnetic, but most men are terrified of being real. They think, if I show who I truly am, what if she doesn't like it? So instead they become whatever they think she wants. They mold themselves to fit her expectations, trying to be Mr. Perfect. But guess what? That's not attractive. Ironically, the moment you stop pretending, the moment you start owning who you are without apology, that's when women start noticing you. Because confidence isn't about acting a certain way. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. Think about the kind of man women respect. He doesn't change his opinions just to please others. He doesn't try to impress by flashing things he doesn't even care about. He's the same guy, whether he's with his friends, his family, or the woman he's dating. And that kind of consistency builds trust. And trust, that's the foundation of real attraction. So ask yourself, who are you really? What do you stand for? What kind of life do you want? Because if you don't know, you're always going to be playing a role, hoping someone else will validate you. But the moment you own your truth, live by your values, and stop seeking approval, that's when everything changes. Women don't want a man who plays a part. They want a man who knows himself, a man who doesn't need permission to be exactly who he is. And when you become that man, you won't need tricks, games, or strategies. You'll simply be, and that's irresistible. Before we move on to lesson number 4, we want to take a moment to thank you for accompanying us halfway through this video journey. In every moment, we can learn and grow. And the fact that you are here listening and reflecting with us is a tremendous gift that I cherish every minute to help us spread these valuable lessons to even more people. Please hit the like and share buttons for this video. Each share is a small but meaningful act, much like the timeless lessons Stoicism offers. And don't forget, lesson number 4 is waiting for you in the next segment. Let's continue exploring and embracing these everlasting pieces of wisdom together. Once again, thank you for your continued support. All right, let's keep going. Number 4, emotional resilience. Emotional resilience, your secret weapon. Your secret weapon. Life isn't a movie, and love isn't some scripted romance where everything falls into place effortlessly. If you think just being a nice guy is enough, you're in for a wake call, because when it really matters, when life gets tough, when things don't go as planned, women pay attention to how you handle it. You know what's unattractive: a man who falls apart over the smallest inconvenience, a man who loses his temper because the waiter got his order wrong, a man who sulks, complains, or lets his emotions dictate his actions. To a woman, that's weakness. And deep down she knows that if something this small rattles you, you won't be able to handle the bigger storms that life throws your way. Because here's what most men don't understand. Attraction isn't just about how you make her feel when things are good. It's about how you make her feel when things are hard. Can she trust you to stay grounded when there's chaos? Can she rely on you to think clearly, instead of reacting emotionally? Can she look at you and feel safe knowing you won't fold under pressure? If the answer is no, then no matter how great things seem at first, her attraction for you will fade. Emotional resilience is your secret weapon. It's what separates men who command respect from men who are merely tolerated. It's not about pretending you don't feel anything. It's about controlling your emotions instead of letting them control you. A real man doesn't panic when faced with setbacks. He doesn't lash out when things don't go his way. He doesn't let external circumstances dictate his inner state. And don't think women don't notice this. They absolutely do. They can tell within minutes whether you're the kind of man who stands strong in the face of adversity, or if you crumble at the first sign of difficulty. And here's the truth: a woman will never fully trust a man who isn't in control of himself. If you can't regulate your emotions, if you can't handle pressure, if you can't remain steady when life gets hard, why would she ever feel safe with you? So ask yourself, when life challenges you, how do you respond? Do you react impulsively, or do you stay composed? Do you let emotions dictate your actions, or do you step back and assess the situation with clarity? Do you break down when things don't go your way, or do you adapt, adjust and move forward with strength? Because in the end, that's what truly attracts a high-value woman, not just a man who makes her laugh, not just a man who has a good time when things are easy, but a man she can count on when things get tough, a man who remains unshaken by life's storms, a man who doesn't just survive ADV unity, he thrives in it, and that's the kind of man women stay with. Number 5, boundaries. The key to boundaries, the key to self-respect. Self-respect. Let's be clear, a man without boundaries is a man without self-respect. And a man without self-respect, no woman, no matter how attracted she is, at first will ever truly respect him. Too many men think that saying yes to everything will make them more likable, that going out of their way, bending over backward and making endless sacrifices will make a woman appreciate them. But here's the cold truth: women don't respect a man who doesn't respect himself, and if she doesn't respect you, she'll never fully be attracted to you. Setting boundaries isn't about being rude. It's not about controlling her, making demands, or playing power games. It's about standing firm in who you are, what you believe in, and what you will and won't accept in your life. It's about saying, this is me, these are my standards, and I won't compromise them. If she's constantly late and never respects your time, you don't just smile and pretend it's okay. You say, I value my time. If we make plans, I expect mutual respect. If she tests your limits, you don't snap or get defensive. You simply hold your ground. Because here's something most men don't understand. Women test not to push you away, but to see if you're strong enough to stand your ground. They want to know if you're a man who truly values himself. And that's the difference between men who get walked all over and men who are respected the moment you start letting things slide, the moment you sacrifice your standards just to avoid conflict. You start losing respect, and once respect is gone, attraction soon follows. This isn't just about relationships either. Boundaries shape every aspect of your life. They define how people treat you, how much value you place on yourself, and whether others take you seriously. A man with boundaries signals strength. He doesn't need to prove himself, and he certainly doesn't need to beg for someone's time, attention, or approval. Respect isn't given. It's earned, and it starts with how you treat yourself. Because if you don't respect your own time, energy, and values, why would anyone else? Number 6. Amor fati. Love your fate. Own your growth. Emerata. Love your fate. Own your growth. Fear of rejection. Fear of failure. Letting go. Let it all go. Because the truth is, rejection isn't what breaks most men. Their response to it does. Most guys take rejection personally. They see it as proof that they're not good enough, not attractive enough, not successful enough. They internalize it, overthink it, let it eat away at their confidence, and the worst part, they let it define them. But a high-value man, he doesn't see rejection as something to fear. He sees it as fuel. We understand something most men never will. Every setback, every failure, every closed door is a lesson, a redirection, a step forward. This is what the Stoics called emerata, love your fate. Not just accepting what happens, but embracing it, loving it, seeing every challenge, every rejection, every painful experience as a necessary part of becoming stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Think about it. Who is more attractive? The guy who gets rejected, sulks, complains, and lets it destroy his confidence, or the man who takes it in stride, shrugs it off and moves forward, like it never even fazed him? Women are drawn to the second man because his energy is different. He doesn't beg. He doesn't dwell. He doesn't let external events dictate his self-worth. And that level of confidence, it's magnetic. But here's the thing, you don't just decide to be this way overnight. You have to train yourself the next time you get rejected. Instead of asking, why me? Ask, what can I learn from this? Instead of avoiding failure, embrace it. Instead of fearing challenges, welcome them. Because every moment of adversity is an opportunity to grow, and that's what separates men who struggle from men who thrive. One sees rejection as the end, the other sees it as a beginning. One lets failure define him, the other lets it refine him. So love your fate, own your growth, stop chasing perfection, and start embracing the journey. Because the man who thrives in the face of adversity is the man who attracts without even the confidence of quiet power, the ultimate attraction magnet. Trying number 7, the confidence of quiet power, the ultimate attraction magnet. At this point you understand that attraction isn't about what you have, it's about who you are. But there's one quality that separates men who naturally draw women in from those who constantly struggle to keep their attention, and that's confidence. But not the kind most people think of. See, when most men hear the word confidence, they picture the loud guy in the room, the one making jokes, dominating conversations, trying to impress everyone with his energy. But that's not real confidence, that's insecurity in disguise. The kind of confidence that truly attracts high value. Women is quiet, unshakable, effortless. It's the confidence of a man who knows his worth, not because of what he owns, not because of how others perceive him, but because of who he is at his core. Real confidence isn't about talking, it's about presence. It's in the way you stand, the way you walk into a room, the way you hold eye contact, the way you sit back, relaxed, fully comfortable in yourself, not needing validation from anyone. Imagine this. 2 men walk into a bar. The first one comes in loud, cracking jokes, making sure everyone hears him. He wants attention. He needs it. The second man walks in, calm, scans the room and takes a seat. He's not trying to prove anything. He's not seeking approval, and yet people notice him. That's quiet power, and women feel it. Because confidence isn't about forcing people to notice you. It's about having an energy so grounded that they can't help but feel your presence. So how do you develop it first? Master yourself, become highly competent at something. It doesn't have to be flashy, but it has to matter to you. A man who is deeply skilled at something, whether it's his craft, his fitness, his mindset, radiates a kind of assuredness that is impossible to fake. Second, stop seeking approval. You don't need it. Confidence isn't about proving anything. It's about being so secure in yourself that external validation becomes irrelevant. And finally, control your emotions. Weak men are ruled by their reactions. They get defensive. They get flustered. They overreact. But a man with quiet confidence, he remains steady. He listens. He thinks. He chooses his words carefully. And when you embody this kind of confidence, something shifts. You stop chasing because you don't need to, and that's when women start noticing you. Not because you're trying to impress them, but because your presence alone speaks. Conclusion: the secret to attracting quality women lies in becoming the best version of yourself, developing confidence, purpose, and emotional intelligence. Women are naturally drawn to men who exude self-assurance, have a clear direction in life, and treat others with respect and kindness. Instead of seeking validation or playing games, focus on self-improvement, cultivating strong values, and pursuing your passions. When you radiate authenticity and inner strength, you naturally attract women who appreciate and compliment your qualities, leading to deeper and more fulfilling connections.